and Maras, how do you do? This is my podcast and it's just for you. It's called TED Talks and it's a load of shite, but I hope you enjoy it because I've kept it like it's about an hour long and all about Teesside, the people, the places and the borough pride.
What, you caught me dancing to my own intro there. How class is that? Good evening, everybody out there on the World Wide Web. I don't know why I did that, sorry. Welcome to TED Talks, the weekly online videoed podcast where I like to go through news stories that are a bit funny and also have a bit of a chat and see what you listeners, watchers, whatever you are, want to say, ask any questions, have a little sort of conflab about some funny topics and that, you know what I mean? We are live on the George Pub and Grill Facebook page and my YouTube channel. Please share this post, share it about, share the stream, and you could win a Parmo from the George Pub and Grill. That's right. If you share this now, like the post, share it. We're going to pick a winner later on in the show. So click share. Let me know in the comments when you've done it. If you don't do it, you're an absolute bellwhiff. So share the stream and win a Parmo. Right. I can't do the show on my own because I'm fucking shit. So I'm going to invite me mate on. It's only Mala. Mala.
All right, podcasters. All right, Ted, how we doing?
I'm all right, mate. You're looking very Michael Caine at the minute, mate, with your little hairdo and your glasses and that, you know what I mean?
Well, you know, Wayne Paul's shutting it, so I haven't been able to get my hair done. And I thought Wayne Paul 2 would be open, but he's not. And Wayne Paul 3 isn't. I'm
all right, mate, because Jolie gets the nail clippers and just gives little bits, little trims every now and then, you know what I mean? So, looking good. So, there you are. Are you been up to much today, Alex? I've not seen you.
Yeah, well, no, I haven't. What I've been doing is basically I've been going through Broadback's cupboards and seeing what stuff she has. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't have a lot, but she's a king to get because she has lots of like random stuff in there, which I quite like. But yeah, she watches this. She might know now as well. So if she comes down and gives us a bat, that's why.
Right, okie doke. Did she say she watches the show?
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah, because she's always going on about Ted Angie. So I understand that must be the reason why that she just watched the show.
Right, we're gonna
big fan of yours, Ted. I mean, she bought some replica pants that are just like yours because I saw them on the floor a couple of weeks back, right? And I was like, "Who's them?" And she went, "Oh, the man." And she has a little bit of a museum going to here because there's a toothbrush of yours and there's all sorts of other stuff. But like, I don't mind me. I think it's class because I have like loads of stuff of yours anyway.
It's a bit creepy, mate, I'll be honest. You know, I don't agree with it. You know, I like fans, but she shouldn't be, using my stuff. I mean, getting stuff similar to mine. It's just wrong, you know what I mean? So let's have a look, see who's in the chat. I've got a couple of people who shared. That's good, and put done. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Fucking cheeky bastard, yeah. Now then, Ted, with them teeth, are you entitled to get an earlier call? Well, hang on a minute, Andrew McInnew, right? I'll be giving you a fucking jab. You want to start as you want to learn how to spell untitled instead of entitled, you dickhead.
Well, he might entitled as in like you entitled, you know, like as if you've given yourself a title.
Entitled, you know what I mean? Sure. But no, it's a fair question. I don't need it, mate. I don't need it because, I'm just like a superhuman being. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll get it, me. I'll have like 2 or 3 if you want.
You can just, Mallet, it'll probably, your skin's that thick. The needle will probably just bounce off it, you know what I mean? So, now then, Richard, cheers, mate. Hang on, what's this here? Charlene Augerman, shared in a load of groups. Well, that's all right, Charlene, you know what I mean? As long as it's your little sex groups that I know you're a member of, you know.
That you remind me
the Augerman, whoever you
are. Reminds me of, did your mum and dad like Neighbours? Because do you remember, Ted, there was Charlene,
Yeah.
Used to love her, me. Used to get right up close and like one of them.
You're ready. Got a bit of side mouth going on about that Charlene, you know what I mean?
Are you Charlene, like, you know what I mean? Wouldn't want one of your Sunderland dinners. I went there. Are you, are you Ted? Ted?
Nice to see you too, Duncan. Thanks,
Super,
mate. Evening bell whiffs. Mal needs a strimmer on his fringe. True.
I told you I can't get in, man. None of the barbers are accepting me. Not that everyone on Teesside hasn't got that haircut, because I tell you what, everyone's lasses classic cutting hair around there.
Oh, aren't they?
Yeah.
How many mums are saying to their kids, if the teacher asks, tell him your mum cut your hair? And you know what I mean? You know for a fact Pablo's been round from the Turkish mobile van. Well, listen, we've got a fun-filled show in store for you today. We've got a bit of a theme that we're going to talk about on today's show. I'm going to bring it up on screen now. But today's topic of discussion, and this is where we need your input, where you're watching at home or wherever, in the bath, on the toilet, I don't know. We're going to have a talk about growing up in the 80s and 90s. Some of you might have grown up in the 70s and 60s, maybe the 50s, I don't know. But tell us your funny stories in the comments section. You know, we're reminiscent, we're being nostalgic, you know what I mean? I'll start off, Mala. Remember that time when we were trying to make bonfires down the park and we found that porn mag in the bush? And it was the first time we'd seen like an airy no-no, wasn't it?
Great. I thought you were going to start off by saying, remember that time you were a kid and we shit in the bath? But no, sorry, yeah, the porn mag one. Yeah, that was class.
It was good, wasn't
it? I tell you where it was, right here, right? You know, you people all out there know, we were in the wreck in Thornaby, and if you know where that is, where all the bad boys hang out, like me and Ted. Like, and we found it, and it was near the AstroTurf pitch, mind, so it was class.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it was proper dad's material as well.
We climbed up the massive slide, didn't we? The top of the massive slide, which we had to remove a few years later because there was a death. We climbed up there, and I looked at the pictures, and you read the articles, didn't you?
Well, that's how I know. That's how I know how to put up shelves nowadays. Do you know what I mean? I got one step back.
But it was fantastic, Matters. Honestly, the first time you've ever, witnessed. I mean, some of our younger viewers probably don't experience paper-bound porn mags, because everything's on the Porn Hub now. But it was a great experience to find a book with fannies in it, wasn't it?
Well, it was that or a programme of Newcastle versus Sunderland, because they were all fannies, weren't they? So we never bothered with them.
that's the toilet paper when you needed a shit in the park.
Yeah, no, kids don't know how good they've got it now with that amount of porn that's floating about on the internet. I mean, I can spend hours and hours and hours and hours. I mean, before this podcast hit, I spent hours proper researching. Right, there's a to do with an haircut. All right, Stephen.
Yeah, Craig's just reiterating what we mentioned at the beginning of the show. Please share this stream, and we're going to pick a winner later on to win a Parmo from the George Pub and Grill. The proper class, the dead filling, got loads of cheese on.
Can I ask a question, Ted?
Go on.
This is to everybody, right, out in Teesside. Maybe it's just me, but right, remember in like the early 90s when we used to go out over Stockton on Tees, and we used to go to the mall, and then we used to go to the pizza shops at the end of the night. I can never remember Parmos. Right, so did it just turn up at the end of the 90s or what? Because I can't ever remember getting a Parmo, not until when I was younger. Honestly, we used to have garlic and chips.
Mate, there used to be a pizza shop right next door to the mall, right? Next door to what used to be Buster's, right? There was a pizza shop that was always opening there. And that's where everyone wandered in when they were on a whitey getting kicked out of the mall, like fucking wrecked like that. And I remember going in there and going, hey, mate, I want a Parmo. And then I just chundered all over the counter. all over the counter like that. They had to close the shop because it was that bad. Everyone had to leave, and I was getting loads of abuse.
Well, I've done similar things myself in the bite centre. Do you know what I mean? That was hardcore in the bite centre. It was classic. Yeah,
you used to work in the bite centre, didn't you?
I did. Well, probably tell him.
Remember Mick McGowan from Thornaby? But Mick, I'm gonna get you in a headlock next time I see you. Bad boys, my ass. Yeah. If you've seen us down the wreck, you were fucking. That's it. You were hiding in the AstroTurf.
Well, chucking your porn mag away.
Right, we've got a question here. I think you can answer this one, Malik, because I think it's more up your street. Could you climb the Black Spider in Old Thornaby Town Centre? Now, just to point out, that isn't like a person. It was. It was like an artistic monument, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gary, right, as you well know, there was right. What you had to do is you had to get a run up, didn't you? So if you wanted to go up the tallest leg of the spider, you had to proper pelt it as hard as you could, and then you'd have to do like a monkey grip all the way at the top. Yeah. And if you fell, you cracked your head open, didn't you, Ted? If you remember rightly.
I cracked my head up dangling off the flyover trying to land on the spider, and I missed the spider and hit the floor.
Well, you could if you had to go take like the proper route and take up the big leg. That's what I used to do.
Yeah, no, I missed the spider. I missed Old Thornaby Town Centre. You could like go and get your hair cut at Wixie's. You can go and get yourself some burgundy jeans from Scallywags, and then you can go and get a nice portion of chips from Robinson's Fish and Chips.
You know, when I was a nipper, right, all I wanted to do was live in, them flats above Thornaby Town Centre that are like self-contained. Because I always thought, how class is this, right? You had Blockbusters below you. You had you had a chip shop. You had the bank was there, and then you had the Eagle Hotel as well, didn't you, Ted? If you wanted to, you could go for a drink, and if you're a bit older and you wanted to smash some birds, but you didn't want your missus to find out, you just go, I'm just popping the Eagle for a pint, and then you'd get a hotel room and get away with it. It was class. And then you had the big shop at the top, the gates. What gateway was it when it was back then?
Yeah, oh mate, Thornaby Town Centre was like an episode of Shameless. It really was back then, wasn't it? And my dad was like Frank Gallagher.
But like that's now, right, what they'd call, that's proper how they want us to live now, isn't it? Like a low carbon footprint. I mean, I'd never have to leave Thornaby Town Centre now, because I could go get me tool from there's a bookies there. Do you know what I mean? It's class. If someone opens up, I'm going to start living there now.
You were probably one of the last remaining adults who still rides a grifter, aren't you? Which, as you know, is quite an economic bicycle.
No wrong with that. Can't work it.
We've got some comments. Europa, best Palmos around in the early 90s. Remember when we used to go on a night out in the Empire, and then we'd go to Europa and have a Palmo, and then you'd fall asleep and I'd eat your Palmo.
Yeah, well, that happened. And I used to play Who's a Prosy. Do you remember that game, Ted?
Yeah, Who's a Prosy. I was I'm in there, like.
I used to get beat up off loads of lads because it was always someone's missus. I feel like she's a prosy.
Porky's fan. What the film where he puts his wit on? Beef and roasties. Who has a fucking beef and roasties? I'm on a night out. I'm going to have a Sunday dinner before I go to bed. Have loads of cheese and chicken.
Well, Ted, I used to be partial to a beef curtain or two just at the end of the night.
I bet you were. Duncan's got it nailed here in Stockton when we used to go to the Elysee as well. Remember the Elysee for the Palmos? Remember when we tried to do a runner from the bill and we had to hide behind the wheelie bins? Yeah,
VC, I can't remember Palmos, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, right? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm in my 40s and I did a lot of ecstasy during the day when it was the thing to do. I'm not condoning it, but I loved it. It was class.
I never used to touch any of that because I was too busy trying to get my pork count up, which was how many girls I could finger with the same finger on the same night. It's a bit of a blend of scents as well. I used to always bring them back to Mallow and go, right, that's your first one. Right, that's another one. Do you think that's different to the first one?
I could tell. It's like it was like a porn version, ladies and gentlemen, of the woman at the counter in Boots where she's going to spraying dupe at you and stuff. It was like that. I'd be stood at the Thornaby bar, which was in the mall, and he'd come over and he'd waft his finger in front of us and go, "That's pure Norton, that."
Yeah, smell that one. It's Billog Mam. It used to be like the fingers used to be like them little sample papers, didn't they? Used to get a different one on each finger. And at one point, I had a really successful night, and my toes stunk.
But that never used to bother because I was mostly I was just chewing my face off and dancing, so it was class.
Oh, yeah, I wondered if we know this guy here, right? Mark Edity. I used to work in Thornaby Triangle, and there was always a thin film of oil on my windscreen every night that the wipers couldn't shift.
that was a specialist dog and sight, isn't it, Ted?
You mucky twat. Sure. Craig said there, Stockton had Porky Peter, nothing better than a proper naughty dinner before bed. Porky Peter.
There's more people here, Stockton lads, you're all wrong, you know what I mean? You can't be having a full dinner before you go to bed, man. beef curtains. Well, it's true.
Rob's got it nailed there. Blockbuster itself was mint. I miss going to get a video. Like, you know, like when I used to like live at my mum and dad's house, and I used to have like a different lass back every week when I used to babysit my sister. I used to always go to Blockbusters and get like a video or a DVD, you know, just to get them in the mood. You know, I'd get like Beastmaster or Police Academy 3 or something like that.
Beastmaster.
Absolutely nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Ted, it was always like, do you remember, you got Blockbusters and you get your dad's video card, and we'd have to send the oldest one of us to go and get it because it was an 18 and we were only about 12. And you went up and got like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, and you were about 12-year-old, and you were like, oh, what's your date of birth? And you were like 1963.
I was an old looking guy, sideburns, still from the age of 5. So I think the funniest times we ever had growing up, Marla, you know, forget all of the years like garden hopping and knocky door running and smashing windows and, you know, and beating lads up and stuff like that. That was just nice times. But I think the best times we ever had was when we first started going clubbing and to the pubs when we were probably about 15, 16, wasn't it? And we used to go to like, we used to go to Walker's and the Vicks and O'Flanagan's and
the Thomas didn't obviously
and then we'd you know, it was at the time where the Mall was still there, but it was just before it transgressed into Visage, so we used to sneak into Busters and stay there until midnight and then go into the Mall for free, didn't we? And then Visage, oh mate, how many times did we get thrown out of Visage for either A, fingering, B, thrown up on the dance floor, C, pissing in a foam party, or D, all of the above.
You could add an E there because, and not E because I was on it because I didn't used to a lot that much, but no, you could add an E, and that was because I looked 12-year-old, and I always used to get in, and then one of the bouncers would see us later and go, "There's no way, mate, you're gonna have to go."
Yeah, but then we'd go out and swap jumpers and go back in.
Yeah, but I was swapping jumpers with Julie. It was massive. It was.
Julie used to have a 5XL sweatshop jumper. I mean, it was when you know, she was quite tidy back then. And, it was when I first started talking her, but you know, she was always sitting upstairs in the VIP bit eating pretzels and burgers. So I used to be on the dance floor. They used to call me the puppeteer because I was always like doing this up skirts, wasn't it?
It's a true story. It's a true story. But yeah, Ted, right, that was probably my favourite when you used to go to the Vicks and Busters and all them lot on the bank, and it used to be class. And like even better when the Millennium decided that they'd put on a bus, right? But they wanted to get the ultimate Teesside blend.
Jason said they used to love Millennium on Teesside Park.
It was an experiment, does everyone know this? It was an experiment by the government to see if the various areas of Teesside could interconnect in one place, because they used to bus you in, didn't they? So you'd be like the Eston bus, the Thornaby bus, and used to all turn up like gangs of New York and all go in there, and then later on in the night it'd either be a big fight or it'd be like loads of loving going on. It was classic.
It used to be great on the Millennium bus. Sometimes we used to go over to the borough, didn't we? And we used to go to like, you know, Barracuda Bar. What was the one on the corner? Bar Fresco. Bar Fresco. We used to go into like the Welly and Flares. Then we'd go to Thomas Sheraton, and then we'd get the Millennium bus, the Wenger bus from Thomas Sheraton to Teesside Park, wouldn't we? And you'd be in like the Millennium from like fucking 8:30, just all sat upstairs like that, with like 16 bottles of 80p Carlsberg because it was on offer until 9 o'clock. There's absolutely no flanging here at all. Absolutely no flange.
Everybody, Ted, wearing a different coloured Ben Sherman shirt. Do you know? Just so you looked a bit different to everyone else.
Yeah.
And then you get on that bus, right, and you might see a bit of smart flange, you know what I mean, girls, because you looked quite nice back in the day, didn't you? Right? And then you'd be like, I can't get on the pull here, because then you'd be stuck with it all night. So you'd be like, oh, I'm going to bin this off.
Mate, yeah. It used to be my favourite time. You know, we used to go out we used to go to Millennium. We used to go Thursday to Brutus Gold's Love Train, didn't we? Or we'd go to the Empire before that when it was over there, because you knew you were getting a quality level of student flange who was rarely untapped and often game. And then on a Friday, we'd go to the Mall, and then on a Saturday, we'd either mix it up a little bit and go to either the Mall, the Empire, Jumping Jacks, Chicago Rocks. Sometimes we'd do them all in one night, wouldn't we?
Well, you said right. I'm just reminded of a story, right, that I'm going to tell all the listeners here, and you remember this one. I'm not going to mention the girl, but you know her. Do you remember that night when I got flung out of the Millennium for booking a bird in the disabled toilets? And when the bouncers come and got me, I pretended that I couldn't walk and she was my helper. She has to be in here with me. She's my helper.
Why she got your tiddle in her mouth?
That was class, that. He just chucked me out like a disappointed dad. He didn't even beat me up that night. He just went, come on, come with me. And when he was chucking us out, he was like, you can do better.
I used to have a little black book, right, where I used to rate all of the flange that I'd been with on personality, looks, body, hair, flange, boobs, any big brothers or not. It was all in there, and me and you were outside one night going through the scoring at the league table. Who was number one? And the bouncer was stood behind us, wasn't he? Going, "What are you doing, lads?" I went, "Oh, I'm just showing me mate eating me ranking tables for flange." He stayed for the full PowerPoint presentation, didn't he?
They said you were a forerunner to like champ manager with stats. You know, for the birds. It was like length of mott hair. She just wrote 3 songs. Oh well, that's good.
Let's have a look at some of the comments here that's coming through. People reminiscing from nights out. There we go. Here we go. Someone used to use Little Rebel. What's that? Use Little Rebels, Mallow and Ted. Oh, were you Little Rebel? Yeah, sorry, mate. I thought you were. There we go, yeah. Yeah, we've had that one. Brad's Bar, here we go. Bouncers had to carry me. I bet they did, Charlene, you monkey cow.
Yeah, Brad's Bar, because there was always someone willing to give me a bat in there, wasn't there, Ted?
Duncan, I'd been going to the Rosewood for 2 years. Then Jim the landlord barred me out on my 18th birthday. What a bastard, Duncan. You know what I mean? Have you been back since? Now you're 21. Have you been back, mate?
If you go back now, right, I think they've turned that pub into like 12 houses on one site. So you probably don't go in someone's house and have a drink, mate. It's not gonna look good.
Oh, I know. Hey, something like VK Orange. Remember them, eh? Fucking hell. Steve used to be rocking his orange bench. I had a peach one.
Classic orange.
Blue one, didn't you, Mala?
Blue one, classic orange look, you know what I mean? That was a good one, that.
Flares was brilliant, Kate. I'm going to tell you the little tale about Flares, right? When Flares first opened, guess who used to work behind the bar? Only me. When it first opened, I used to do shifts in the Welly, and then I used to do shifts in Flares as well. So I was one of the first members of staff in Flares in Borough. And apart from, having lots of sexual relations with the staff and the customers, I had a fantastic time working there.
You used to do some little dancing as well, Ted, didn't you?
I did indeed, yeah.
I used to laugh at that, was class.
Mark used to have his green kickers. Very good.
Posh Get. They were expensive then.
He's a good one, yeah. The Royal Exchange, sticky carpet and sticky fingers every Thursday. Rosie, you're right, mate, because we used to go and see the Rippers, didn't we, in there, mate? Remember when you motorboated that stripper?
No, I tell you what, though, I did get spots around my mouth one time, if you remember that, Ted.
Yeah, that was, she put the cream on her arse that time, mate. That's why. You thought you was a tits. We used to go to the Madhouse, didn't we, mate? We used to go on a Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Wednesday, wasn't it?
It was 30 pence a shot, wasn't it, in the Madhouse?
The kids nowadays, man, they don't know what they're missing. It was class back then. It was just people running wild. The bongo.
Oh, mate. We went to the bongo a couple of times, didn't we? Remember, like, when you went up and asked him to play Gala Free from Desire? He went, oh, man, we only play the reggae. What are you talking about for, mate? You white?
Yeah, Andy was from Dormanstown. I knew him. But yeah, we did. I used to go to the bunker sometimes, but it was in the mission. Hey,
this is a true story, Warren, right? I found a jacket in my wardrobe when I moved house, right? I'd not worn it for about 15 years, but I like to keep things, right? I only found £25 worth of Zanzi dollars in it, you know what I mean? So when that reopens, if it ever does, I'm cashing them in.
Imagine the exchange rate on Zanzi dollars. Fucking class. Do you know what I mean? That's better than Bitcoin, that, Ted.
Oh, Mala, when we used to first go out in Stockton, remember when we used to go to Joe Mangle's?
Yeah, well, it's just in Plymouth. Oh, sorry.
£10 drinks all night free, wasn't it? You paid a tenner and you could drink all night. The arena used to do £5 in, free bar. We used to go there on a Monday night, didn't we?
Well, I'll tell you what, right, ladies and gentlemen, podcasters, I'm going to make a little claim here, and I'll take anybody up on it. I can drink a stupid amount of lager, you know. Like, honestly, I can do 20 cans. So if you want to pay for my drink all night and see if you can outdrink me, I'll do that, like. Do you know what I mean?
Me and Mala went to Budapest on a stag do, right? And me and Mala caned probably about, I'd probably say about 16 to 20 pints each, didn't we, of this incredibly strong Hungarian lager. And we can't remember the weekend. We cannot remember the weekend. All we know is we had things stolen from us and we were known in the peep shows.
Well, yeah, that's true. What was her name? Do you remember?
Barbie.
Barbie.
Yeah. Big Barbie. She was huge, wasn't she?
Well, she knew us. I don't know why, but she knew us.
I'll tell you the story, Matters, if you're listening. Right, we were in this peep show. There was me, Mala, and there was another one of our mates. Pardon me, there did a bear.
I'm going to name him. Saggy was there with us.
Sag, and we were all in this peep show together like that. And there was this big blonde bird on the screen like that. And she was called Barbie, like that. And so she was doing all the things for us and stuff like that. And then you could pay extra to touch underneath the window like that. So we were all paying extra to touch, and everyone was touching the tuppence and the bumhole and stuff like that. But I was tickling her feet, right? And she's going, oh, stop it, you're funny, like that. And then next to us, like Sag was in between us, we just felt this to me like that. And we looked and he was having a tug. He was having a tug next to us like that. And then he went, lads, I want to be alone with Barbie. So we had to leave him with Barbie, didn't we?
Well, they got on like a house on fire, apparently.
Oh, great. It was absolutely great. I've left Blazers up here for a long time now. I've just realised Blazers was one of our favourite nights out, wasn't it, Mal? I remember when we were very young and we were seduced by older women in Blazers.
And we went back to their house. Well, I remember that. That was one of the best nights of my life when I was a kid. Yeah, Blazers because I was very much into my music when I was a kid, and I loved like sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, I suppose, like rock music.
You were a bit grungy.
I was a bit grungy, yeah. I liked, you know, Nirvana and me Pearl Jam and people like that. So I loved Blazers. It was class.
Oh, we had a great time, didn't we? Corner House, we used to always go to the Corner House, 69 pence a bottle before midnight. Top bit of a quality type of flange in the Corner House as well, you know.
I never did well in the Corner House, Ted.
You what, mate?
I never did well in the Corner House.
You didn't know. You used to go, where's Mallet? Oh, he went back over to Flares.
I used to like the cheap seats, mate. It's where the best birds were.
Did we ever go in Birches? Or did we go in when it was Foxy's? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Georgie Brown's in Stockton. Now, he's one for us, mate. Now, you'll remember this. Right, £15 all in, all you can drink at Tall Trees on a Friday.
Well, I used to love Tall Trees. One of my favourite things in the world. I used to love going to Tall Trees.
It was the only time you used to get groped. That's why, mate. Just when they were checking you for drugs going in.
I know. I used to like going to Retro as well with Paul and Ben Taylor. That was class. I used to love Retro. It was brilliant.
You did, didn't you? Yeah, you were in that little loop, and no one let me in because, like, I was too handsome.
Yeah, that was it, Ted. Well,
No. And then, do you remember when the strippers opened above Spenceley's? I didn't go like swear down. Yes, you did. You weren't there, Chris. You were like you were giving booty, and we were giving coin. We remember
ceremonies.
I used to enjoy that. Yeah, it was good. Yeah. Here we go. It's a good one. You used to get in the visage, tell him it's your birthday, and get a free bottle of vinegar. I remember taking my mate's eye out with the cork while I gave it a shake. Oh, Michelle, that's spot on. We used to get the vouchers in the post, didn't you? For like, you could give all your mates discount vouchers to get in. You'd only get 4 free. You get 4 mates free and the rest would get a discount, and then you'd get a bottle of piss to share on your table.
I remember that. Well, that was class.
Oh,
It used to be an indicator when you were on the pull that if you saw a group of birds with one of them bottles, you thought one of them's having a birthday tonight and they want to get pulled because they like to have a special night. So I used to wait till they were really pissed. I mean, not rapey, but like, they were still all right. And then I used to make my move. Do you remember, Ted, my moves I used to do?
You were like an alligator.
But yeah, that was pretty much what it was. Well,
Ian Manor, where did you meet your ex-wife? In the Crown.
Well, I did, yeah. In the Crown class.
Oh, the Crown was class. There we are on a Monday, £1 a pint. Didn't mind that it stunk of piss for that price. It's a good.
You used to get some good little bands in there as well.
Music was class, yeah.
However, right, you did have to climb up to the DJ, didn't you? Because he was like on some fucking balcony. So you had to climb them steps to get up. And if you wanted to ask for a song, you'd get up there. Can I have this song, mate? And he'd be like, yeah. You'd turn around to come down. He'd play something else, and everyone would look at you thinking that you'd just done that.
Yeah. Oh, look at him up there. He's just asked for Spice Girls.
Exactly.
You had like.
Well, I liked it.
We were too young for the Rock Garden, weren't we, Mala? I don't remember it. We used to go to the waterfront, though, didn't we?
Yes, we used to. Yeah. We used to. It was class.
Yeah.
I just loved Teesside. Me, everything was class.
Well, as Steve and Ginger Downey said there, most of these places are now nothing more than memories. They've even knocked the Mall down now, haven't they, in Stockton? So it's just like, if you could go back and do it all again, I would love to.
I would. I'd have a filter on my flange this time. Like, I wouldn't have been so. I was like a young Thundercat. I was just running wild, bucking, and I'd probably put a little bit of a filter, and I'd be like, calm yourself down, lads. You know, you're alive a long time. So you need to be careful, because the amount of women now run into him and go, hey, do you remember me? It's you, Mallor, in it. And I'm like, no. You know what I mean? Because like they haven't aged well. I mean, I know I'm not, oil paint.
And you were dressed like like Panthro.
Yeah, I think when lockdown ends, that's what it's going to be like. Like, Ted's going to stand outside the house, right? Listen, podcasters, and he's just going to go, Thundercats, oh, and all of us will just run to him in like pants and stuff, and we'll be like, yes, and we'll just go on a massive session.
Mate, remember when I did that in the middle of the red light district and got chased off a pimp?
Thundercat hose, that's why. You thought you were calling all his women.
This is a good comment here from Chris. Here we go. Loved going to tall trees, drinking fake VK. Came home with the blue tongue, and our last woke up with the blue munch. Mate, I think that's just a bit of purple waffle or blue waffle or whatever she had going on down there. You know, right?
Did you know that while he was in there, the Blue Man Group were over scuttling her? So
I remember going to Tall Trees once, had the standard shirt, jeans and trainers on, no trainers allowed, went round the corner, took my black socks off, put them over my trainers.
Well, that's a classic, that.
You used to have mustard coloured socks, though, didn't you, Malice?
And you used to say that they were like, them crocodile shoes. Just used to tell them it was that.
Oh, honestly, they're such fantastic times. They really were. If I could go back, I would probably avoid a couple of circumstances that I got myself into. Do you know what I mean? Like, remember that time where me and you sort of fingered the same girl on the same night up in near the VIP in the Mall, Jane of the Jungle?
Well, Jane of the Jungle, yeah.
Oh, man.
Right. This is
I never expected to find your hand in there as well.
Well, I didn't believe that she was allowing that to happen. I didn't think that you were there until it was.
It was dark, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly, that was terrible that night.
Oh, what a wonderful time. It's, but listen, there's light at the end of the tunnel now. We can create our own euphoria again now. We're allowed back out soon. The pubs are going to be crying out for custom. So we need to support them all, don't we? Get out there and spend whatever money we've been sitting on under the mattress on booze.
Yeah, and the flange is going to be crying out for custard, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right. The flange when lockdown's over, right? It's gonna be fucking unbelievable. It's gonna be everywhere. It's gonna be gagging.
You Ted, there'll be people booking, loads of Thundercats running wild on the streets.
I know. going to be class.
Yeah, right. I tell you what, as well, it's going to be class, and we should be out there, right? So let's all help out Stockton and Norton and Yarm and Borough and like all the other places in Billock. Let's everyone get in the pubs, man. No one should be sat at home. Like I know you might have your little parties in your kitchen with all of your, but I tell you what, just give it a rest for a little bit and go to the pub and have a good laugh, like old school, and then have a parmo on the way home. And then getting 12 years in a taxi because there'll be no COVID restrictions. So it'll be class.
And if you see me and Mal are out and you're having a party, then invite us along because we just like, we'll probably just come for a drink, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and honestly, I won't go through your lass's knicker drawer, I promise.
You're half up and will.
Yeah, well, Did you watch the match the other day, Ted?
Did I watch the match?
Yeah, well, did you watch the match the other day? Warner was shitloads of side mouths. Do you like he's proper class at it?
Who won?
Every 5 minutes. Well,
I'm going to some longer off your shite.
Well,
yeah. So look at this, Richard Watson. He said he once got a bat off Alex Higgins in Chelsea. You freaking how good. You steal his cigarettes like Richard.
Celebrity bats. As far as celebrity bats go, Emerson once gave me a clip round the head.
Was Jane of the Jungle the girl with two flanges from last week's news story?
No. There was only one flange there.
Oh, only. Lovely. Mint, even more mint. Thank you, Mark. Charlene there, Ogerman, she's gagging, so I'm going to get her number after this stream. And I'll be breaking more than lockdown. You know what I mean?
He's known for that, He's called the digital stalker. You need to be careful.
Good question here from Michelle. Mala, what was your favourite bar back in the day?
Right. If I ever think about it,
all the social clubs you love, they don't count.
Well, I was going to say that. But if I'm being honest, I'd probably say I used to like going over to Stockton because we lived in Thornaby Mind and like all the lads we used to walk over. So it'll have to be one in Stockton, I think. And it's no longer there, but I really used to like O'Casey's. I thought
O'Casey's, yeah, with Irish John.
Really like O'Casey's, and the bar staff in there were class, and we used to have a laugh, and we used to have a stop back. Irish cafe. Well, she was mint, wasn't she?
Oh, she was, wasn't she?
I used to like O'Casey's. I'm not going to lie to you, I did. What about you?
I used to like going into Walkers and having a burnout with a stranger. You know what I mean? Like I'd go and stand next to him at the fruit machine and go, "Want to hold your nudges, mate? Mate? You're doing that wrong, mate." Yeah, what are you doing? What are you telling me how to play fruit machines for? I go, "Do you want to have a burnout?" And they were like, dun, 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 dun. And I'd absolutely wipe the floor with him on a burnout, wouldn't I?
I was never allowed to take part in burnouts because I was always chemically enhanced. So they'd say, no, like in the Olympics, you're not allowed to compete. The new.
Oh, listen, we've had a blast from the past here from being in O'Casey's. Michelle used to be in there. Goldschlager.
Michelle. Mint.
There you go, boys. I'm drinking that. It's got fucking real gold in it, so it has. No,
there, Ted. I thought you were going to bring in a third screen of Jane of the Jungle. We've got a blast from the past. Here she is.
and you're right. It then became the Blue Lounge after all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't quite the same. Remember Ibiza Bar as well, which used to be next to Yates's.
Well, I did like Borough was like one of our favourite places, and I do still like going to Dickens, but I used to like going to what was it, the Fort and Fergan? The Fergan one, the Flying Fergan. I used to like it in there, and the Star when it was the original Star pub. Like it was just like an old blokes pub. I used to love that. That was a good pub. And what's the Irish one, Ted? When we go to the match and we go down, that's near Baker Street. What's that one called again? Can't remember. Murphy's.
Murphy's, yeah.
You love it in there as well. It's class.
Yeah, good place to take flange. That.
Well, and the Intrepid out at the Riverside, but only at half time when we're losing. And then you go out and just neck loads of lager and whinge with everybody else. It's class.
Didn't there used to be a pub at the top of Linthorpe Road called the Intrepid Explorer?
Yeah, the Intrepid Explorer. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We've got a good question here. Lads, worst bouncer experience. Like, I'm going to tell you the story here, Chris. Right, and it's a bit shit your pants scary. So strap your lugs in. because the clock's ticking. But I know you're all keen to hear this, right? I was with a friend. I won't name him, but he was a notorious whiffhead. He liked his whiffy.
It wasn't me.
Because me and Mala don't do all that type
No.
of stuff. We had a group of friends who got into that. We soon got rid of them because they were doyles. But anyway, we were walking. He got caught in the toilets in the Mall, which was Zanzibar at the time, I think it was. And we were walking back out the toilets, and the bouncers grabbed us. Just because I was in the toilet at the same time, not the cubicle, I was having a piss in the urinal while he was in the cubicle. We walked out the toilet at the same time. They grabbed us and they took us downstairs into the fire exit. And as they were doing that, he dropped his little bag out the pocket, and I just seen it in slow motion just go and land on the bouncer's foot, right? And he went, "What the fucking hell is that, lads?" And he looked at me. I went, "That's not mine, mate. It is." Pointing at him. And he went, "It's not mine. It is." So he was blaming me like that. So the bouncers took us downstairs, down to the fire exit, right? And they were about to cave our heads in. They really were. And then they got a call on the little earpiece saying, "There's a fight on the dance floor. There's a fight on the dance floor." And they had to go up. And who was having a fight on the dance floor, Mala? It was only you.
Right. Well, I'd say it wasn't a fight. I was getting my head kicked in at the time, but I was having a good go. Do you know what I mean? Because we are Borough and we are proud. Do you know what I mean? You've got to have a fight back, haven't you?
You took one for us. We were going to get our head caved in the back alley behind the back of the pizza shops where they throw you out the fire exit, and you saved us. So then we swapped jackets and we came back in.
Well, like my worst bouncer experience was do you know where the Travellers, whatever it's called now, the Squatter's Car? That pub used to be called, what was it called, Ted? Do you remember the one in Borough? When it was the Squatter's Car. No, the Squatter's Car in Middlesbrough, the pub. It used to be called something, I can't remember what it was now. But before it was called the Squatter's Car, we used to have a female bouncer, and I got a batter for her one night because she was like a beastie looking woman and I was having a pag. It was when you could smoke inside. And she'd come over and she'd walk past us and I'd just missed her with this fact. I don't smoke anymore, but I used to. And she started giving me loads of lips. So I told her to fuck off, and she just fucking grabbed hold of me, flung me out. It's the most powerful woman I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, I think in slow motion, she had me above her head like the Ultimate Warrior, but I can't remember.
UFC suplexed you?
Well,
I'm unaware of swatters. He's put their swatters. I didn't even know it existed. But a little confession matters. I was living in Leeds for 10 years until I moved back. About a year ago. So
Ted, I think it was called the Tavern when we were younger, and it used to have like a little pool place in the back.
Oh right, and is that the one on? Is it on Linthorpe Road? Over the road from Quicksave.
Yeah, that's it, kid. Yeah.
It used to be called the Tavern, and then it became Scream Pub, didn't it? Called something else after that.
Yeah,
It was the Lord's Tavern, and then it became something else, and then it became the Tavern, and obviously it's that now.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go. Michael Lofts has got it there. It used to be called the House. Well done, Michael. If you're still watching, Maras, please, if you're going to win a Parmo tonight from the George Pub and Grill. So we're going to select a winner later on. So if you've not done it yet, please give it a share on your timeline. Give it a like. Somebody's gave an angry face like as well. Daniel Potter Moores. I don't know why he's gave an angry face like. Maybe he's not happy. Maybe he's slagged off. Something, I don't know, but you know what? I don't give a fuck, mate. You know what I mean?
It's obviously angry at you, that's why.
Oh, here we go. Remember Jumping Jacks? Yeah, I do remember Jumping Jacks. Me and my old boss tag teamed a mother and daughter in there, and it was a tremendous moment. It really was. Have you ever been in the Telstar in Billingham? Lovely Parmos. I used to play football against the Telstar probably about 14 years ago, and they were rough as fuck. They really were. I was a young lad, and they used to try and punch me, so I won't eat in there.
Look at Kate there, distancing herself from Billog. Yeah, my in-laws are from there. It's nothing to do with me. I love you.
Sorry, David. He did say it used to be called the House. He got in there before Michael. But you're both great. Thank you. I hope you've really enjoyed reminiscing all these great pubs and clubs. We were just going to talk about growing up in the 80s and 90s, but for some reason, this is going to pubs.
We went on a pub crawl, Ted. That's what we did.
Oh, dear, yeah. Remember Club Toxin on Linthorpe Road as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, right, listen. Now, I've never seen so many fake leather jackets in all my life in there. Everyone wanted to be Michael Jackson. They really did. They were all stood around just lecturing lasses like that. Which one we're going to take home, without asking them. So,
Like one goes well, Ted.
Oh, yeah. Is it anyone else walk straight into the mirror on the way into the bongo because the door's reflection?
Well, many times. And then you used to get flung out for doing it.
Gilzines before and after the Borough matches, always great. And pop and pick a hooker up as well, which is always handy. Steam packet was mental. It was, yeah. I once got piped off in the disabled toilets in there. It was a great moment.
Did the lad like doing that, Ted?
What was the one near the swimming pool? Used to put lollipops in a frozen alcohol slushy. That was Joe Mangles, Bojangles. I think we established that earlier. I think that's the one.
Yeah, that was it. Well,
Yeah, you remember the Millennium and obviously walkabouts as well. We used to get some good times in walkabouts, didn't we?
Well, it was decent. The walkabout was a place that you went if you couldn't be asked going anywhere decent. So like, let's go to walkabout because it was open till 2. Yeah, you could just say, let's go to walkabout.
Bar Vienna as well. Remember that?
Yeah, class.
Oh, all the Middlesbrough ones are calling out now. Here we go. We've got another question here from Chris. He's asking some good questions here. Best bed you pulled on a night out and the worst. Describe them, Mala.
Somebody's knocking at your door. Somebody. No, right. I go on. No, right.
Move on from that question now. Walkabouts on a Friday was neat. With the bands, it was cool. Listen, right, I'm going to put this out there, right? If anyone knows any bar managers, bar owners who are looking to get things back up and running once things are gone, I've got a comedy night at Beer and Beer, which used to be Beer X years ago, I think, as well. I run a comedy night there, back there on the 28th of May, but I think it's sold out, or there might be a handful of tickets left going on sale. But I'm doing one monthly there. But I'm quite prepared to start some new nights as long as they're a good distance away from there. So if you know anywhere in Teesside who are looking for entertainment, I can bring a full comedy show where I host it and bring a number of comedians to perform as well. And it's just good crack, you know what I mean? So don't let me know or put me in touch with them and I'll have a chat. So that was my sales pitch done there, Mala. You know what I mean?
I liked it. That was good. Looking for a new paper boy. I am available.
This might have been the last time we went to a club together, wasn't it? And it was in the Wobbly Goblin. Remember?
Before lockdown,
Carl meets Deliverance.
Yeah, right. The Wobbly is now like, when you're too pissed and like you've been like obviously you've been in the Q bar, because if you ever go into Stockton, boys and girls, the Q bar is a place to be. It's class. You go to the George pub's mint, right? And then you go to Storytellers,
O'Harkers,
class. But we were in there, and then we decided we wanted a different change, didn't we, Ted? And we decided to go downtown and go to the Wobbly Goblin. Now, that is not a good experience at 3 a.m. when you're handsome men like us. Do you know what I mean? You can get raped in there, can't you, Ted?
We did.
It's horrible.
So I'm going to pick a winner for the Palmo, Mala. So I'm going to bring a comment up on screen for you to riff on why I pick.
Let's have a look.
The winner. Hang on.
What's he going to bring up here?
Hang on. I'm scrolling. Side mouth.
What's going on?
I can't find one. Sorry, mate.
I'm just going to riff on this, right? Yeah.
You've got the mashing.
No, next one. No, yeah, right. Just this differently on this while Ted's prattling about doing his business there. Yeah, like ladies and gentlemen at Teesside, when we get back out on the piss, can we all be good? Because I don't want to see like the Daily Mail doing crap stories on us saying, you know what I mean? We're all thundercatting 6 words at a time and that. We need to be chilled out when we go out and be good lads and lasses. Do you know what I mean? And just get on with it.
That's a good point, that, mate. Yeah. I mean, like, we were going to talk about a few news stories tonight, and one of them that really made me laugh was husband caught wife in compromising position with work colleague before damaging love rival's home. Like, what she don't get a promotion or something? You know,
Loads of grassing, as always, going on.
always loads of grassing going on Teesside Live, Maras, you know what I mean?
We got that bored now. We're starting to report on people having an affairs in Ingleby, because I tell you what, you could fucking fill the paper with that every day. Man, don't worry about it. Just get on with your own lives. It's not a problem, is it?
Oh, I know. I can't figure out how to pick a winner who shared it. I can see I've had 39 shares, but it won't let me. It won't let me choose a winner. You know what I mean? Hang on, just bear with us. Bear with us. We'll get there. I was hoping Craig would help us out here. Oh, we've had 40 shares now. That's good.
Who's the 40th share? There you go. Who shared that?
So what you're saying? Who's the 40th share?
One? Let's be just random about it.
I'm just gonna randomly scroll and stop. Hang on. You see, I've got my eyes closed. Right, I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Stop there. Oh no, Craig Archer can't win. It's his pub. Here we go. Oh, mate, you know who's won?
Who is it?
Charlene Ogerman.
Yeah, he's on the pool. Yeah.
Charlene Ogerman, you have won a Parmo from the George Pub and Grill.
Listen.
Mint.
Listen, yeah, Matters. Ted's trying to get into where Nick is here. Like, I can see you coming. He uses this all the time.
I do. Can you hear me, Mala?
Yeah, but you've frozen though, Ted.
Yeah, I know my old computer's froze. That's no good, is it?
Yeah,
if I go,
yeah, you just got your eyes closed on the screen. It's class. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, be careful, because Charlene, he is trying to get into your pants. I've seen him do it before. It's his technique. He says he's giving away free Parmos. Next thing you know, he's inspecting everything. So I think this is me left on my own here, Manners. So I don't have anything to talk to you about that's this way inclined. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. So I don't know what happened there, you know what I mean? Must have been too much crash the computer. So Charlene Ogerman, all you need to do is message the George Pub and Grill page, and they'll sort out with you how you get your free proper class Parmo. I think you deserve it because you've been top flange tonight, love. So I think for that purpose, you do get a top flange.
Don't be meeting Ted in no alleyways, though. I'm telling you, that's how it starts.
Yeah, don't.
Don't.
But we've had people winning. I don't know why someone's just called us that. You know what I mean? That's a bit harsh.
Yes. He might be talking about Charlotte.
Hang on, no. I froze with a cun face, and then Michelle has corrected him. It was actually a cup. Was I looking like this?
Yeah. Well, it looked like you were, like on. Yeah. No, you had like your eyes put like you were pretending to be a Chinaman. That's the one.
Don't be racist. I've already been banned off Facebook. That's why I'm on this page. You know what I mean?
Chinaman.
Anyway, I'm glad to see that you got excited by that picture. Anyway, right, here we go. Hang on, last one of your B-Rex. Funny enough, I pulled a bed in the bungalow with a similar name as that. Well, she looked like that's a good one, that David. Well done. Yeah. Listen, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. It's been great fun. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. I've got a show on Saturday on the lovely George Pub and Grill Facebook page called Eat of the Week, where me and Craig, it's a bit of a TFI Friday type of show. We normally have some music on, a guest to interview, someone eating dog food. Yeah. The past two episodes, someone has ate dog food live on the show for money. So it's good fun. So that's at 7 p.m. On the George Facebook page. So on Saturday, just look out for the reminder that comes up. And the whole point of us doing these shows on a Thursday is to highlight the podcast that I release on a Wednesday. A new episode went out yesterday. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, your mum's podcast, places like that. So look it up, listen to it, share it, enjoy it.
It was very good this week as well. I don't usually listen to podcasts because I'm usually in the shed, but I listen to this week's because Ted's wicked with his editing and it sounds brilliant. So have a listen to that because it is good. It's very funny.
And thank you, Steve. It's nice to get their feedback like that. I think it did fly by tonight because we've been going for a good nearly an hour there. That's really, we've kept a good viewing rating there, which is really good, Mala. So we're not as shit as we thought we are. You know what I mean? So,
well, when we're on Channel 4 in the future, then it'll be class.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, you never know. You know, I've got to get rid of my Facebook man first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's never
So-
forgiven you, Ted. That's it. We're gonna have to
So-
ring him back.
Right, listen, we're going to love you and leave you. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. You've been an absolute cracking crowd. We've had a great time, and we'll see you next Thursday. Download the podcast, tune in on Saturday, wash your hands, wash your flanges, keep yourself safe, up the butter, and believe. Say goodbye, Mala.
Bye, Mala.